Commander Vex stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's Pride, staring at the tactical display with growing unease. The blue-green world below had seemed so primitive when their scouts first reported it 3 cycles ago. The inhabitants had barely achieved spaceflight, their technology centuries behind the mighty galactic coalition. Yet here he was, watching his invasion fleet being systematically dismantled by these so-called humans. "Report," Vex commanded, his forearms trembling slightly as he gripped the command console. Admiral Crone approached, his gray skin pale with fear. "Sir, we've lost 60% of our ground forces. The humans, they don't fight like any species we've encountered." Vex's compound eyes fixed on the Admiral. "Explain." "They refuse to surrender even when surrounded. They've been seen carrying wounded comrades across battlefields under heavy fire. Some have detonated explosives while still holding them, taking our troops with them." Crone's voice shook. "They call it sacrifice for the greater good." The commander's blood ran cold. In all his campaigns across the galaxy, he had never encountered such behavior. Every civilized species understood the logic of surrender when faced with superior force. It was basic survival instinct. "There's more, sir," Crone continued. "They've been using their own bodies as shields to protect their young. We've observed parents running directly into plasma fire to reach their offspring. It's unnatural." A junior officer rushed to the bridge, his breathing rapid. "Commander, you need to see this transmission from the surface." The main screen flickered to life, showing a human settlement under siege. Buildings burned around them, yet the humans continued to fight with whatever weapons they could find. A young human male, no more than 20 cycles old by Vex's estimation, stood atop a pile of rubble addressing his people. "We are not just fighting for our lives," the human declared, his voice carrying despite the chaos around him. "We are fighting for every generation that will come after us. They may take our cities, but they will never take our spirit. Remember what makes us human: our refusal to kneel before those who would enslave us." The crowd around him roared, in agreement, raising makeshift weapons toward the sky. Vex felt something he had not experienced in his 200 cycles of life: genuine fear. "Sir," another officer reported, "the humans have somehow managed to reverse engineer our shield technology. They're adapting it to their primitive aircraft and ground vehicles. Their learning rate is unprecedented." "How is that possible?" Vex demanded. "They're barely beyond their industrial age." "We don't know, sir. But they seem to have a natural ability to innovate under pressure. They're taking our own weapons and improving them in ways our scientists never considered." The tactical display showed human resistance fighters emerging from underground tunnels, striking at coalition supply lines with coordinated precision. What had begun as a simple planetary conquest was becoming a nightmare of guerrilla warfare. "Commander," Admiral Crone said quietly, "perhaps we should consider withdrawal. Cut our losses." Vex whirled on him. "Withdrawal? The Galactic Coalition has never retreated from a primitive world. Our reputation will be meaningless if we lose the entire fleet," Crone interrupted, something that would have meant death under normal circumstances. Another alarm sounded. The communications officer looked up in panic. "Sir, the humans have somehow gained access to our communication networks. They're broadcasting across all coalition frequencies." The screen changed to show an elderly human female, her face lined with age, but her eyes burning with determination. She spoke directly into the camera. "To all worlds under coalition rule," she said, her voice steady and clear, "you are not alone. You do not have to accept oppression. We are just one small planet, yet we stand against your mighty fleets. If we can resist, so can you. Rise up. Fight for your freedom. Show them that the spirit of liberty cannot be crushed." Vex watched in horror as the transmission spread across coalition space. Reports began flooding in from occupied worlds. Uprisings, rebellions, coordinated resistance movements. The human message was spreading like a virus through the galaxy. "These humans," Vex whispered, "they're not just fighting for their world. They're trying to destroy everything we've built." "Sir," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving surrender demands from the humans. Surrender demands? Vex's voice cracked. They're demanding our surrender? Yes, sir. They're offering to spare our lives if we withdraw immediately and release all coalition prisoners of war. They're also demanding reparations for damages and a formal apology to the galactic community. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of failing systems. Through the viewport, Vex could see human spacecraft, crude but effective vessels cobbled together from salvaged coalition technology, forming up around his fleet. For the first time in coalition history, an invasion force found itself outmaneuvered and outfought by a supposedly primitive species. Who are these savage humans? Vex asked aloud, though he wasn't sure if he was addressing his crew or the universe itself. As if in answer, another transmission came through from the planet's surface. A human commander, battle-scarred but unbowed, looked directly at the camera. "We are the species you should have left alone," he said simply. "We are the ones who turn our backs on extinction and choose to fight another day. We are humanity and we never, ever give up." Commander Vex trembled as he reached for the communications panel, knowing that he was about to do something unprecedented in coalition history. He was going to surrender to a species the galaxy had dismissed as primitives. The humans had taught the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Never underestimate the power of those who refuse to yield.